In this video I'm going to talk about switch statements, and the most common use for switch statements maybe would be to have a menu selection or to have the input of the user determine something that happens. And so I am going to create a menu just to show this switch statement and how it can work. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bunch of output statements, or a few, and I'm going to give the user some options. All right, enter which you would like to do. Okay, and so let's see, I actually will put enter the number you would like. I'm going to do it that way actually, and enter the number you would like. And I'm not going to worry about the user typing the wrong thing. I'm not really trying to catch errors in my video here. I'm just simply trying to show you the basics behind what's happening in these situations. So enter the number you'd like, and before that I'm going to present the user with basically a menu. And so option 1 is going to be say hello, okay, and option 2 is going to be say goodbye, and option 3 will be how about we win money. How's that? Win money. There you go. Everybody will choose that one, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm just going to leave 3 options for now to make this simple and shorter. And I'm going to give the user those options. And so I'm just going to run this to just show. Now this is nothing difficult. This is basic output, but I have there say 1, say hello, 2, say goodbye, 3, win money, enter the number you would like. And I want the user to be able to enter a choice. And so in order to do that, I really need to have a scanner. And again, I have video on scanner set up if you need to watch that. I'm going to call this get choice because it's going to be a scanner that's getting the user's choice. And new, I need to set up a new scanner, system.in, so I can get the input. And I need an import statement to import the scanner object code. So that's java.util. And that will solve my problem down there. Again, I did that quickly because right now I'm doing stuff that's a little more advanced in my opinion. And if you don't know scanners and how to do them, watch my video on scanner objects. And so that's going to set up my scanner to get the user input. And the next I'm going to grab their choice. So I'm going to set up an integer user choice because I would like to see what they choose, 1, 2, or 3. And I need to use my scanner, so I call it by name, a scanner, get choice, get on over here. And I need you to grab the next integer that the user types. And so user choice is now what the user types. Now I haven't done anything with a switch statement yet. I've just simply set up a menu, which is a good example of how to implement a switch statement. I've asked the user for some input, and I now am ready to grab their input. And now I'm ready to show you what a switch statement is all about. So to do a switch statement, you obviously first use the word switch. There it is, it's blue, it's a reserved word. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch user choice. Now what that really means is, think of it this way, the user choice variable, whatever it is going to flip a switch. The question is, which switch will it flip? Okay, and so what I need to do is I need to set up my switches, my little, I guess I'll leave it that way, my switches. So the switch statement needs to be inside the braces here, the brackets. And now I'm going to set each switch up. Now each switch is called a case. So case, now if the user enters 1, so I'm going to go case 1. That means if the user enters 1, okay, please, it says implement the following code. Okay, and I'm simply going to put, now remember if they choose the number 1, it's supposed to say hello, so I'm going to output hello. Okay, like that. And case 2, oh by the way, to finish the case you do have to add the word break. Okay, the word break will say, hey, guess what? That case is over. That switch is done. Okay, case 2, by the way, remember case 2 means if the user types the number 2. Okay, then we're going to output, remember we're supposed to say goodbye, so I'm going to put goodbye here. And again, I'll put a break statement because that's all I want to have happen. And then case 3, if the user enters 3, we're going to output, let's see, they're supposed to win money. Case 3 was win money. Put you win, I'll put $1. There you go. Since they were greedy, I'm only giving them $1. And we'll break that case. Now, that really, if you think about this here, their options were 1, 2, 3. And so what I have is I've set up 1, 2, 3. What this switch statement is doing is it's saying take the user choice, the number that the user types, because that's what I grabbed with my scanner here, and test it. If it's a 1, notice this is like an if-else statement. If it's a 1, print me hello and be done. So the break says get me out of the switch. Just exit this whole thing. If it's a 2, print me goodbye and get me out of here, break. If it's a 3, print you win $1 and get me out of here, break. Now, if the user doesn't type 1, 2, or 3, if they type a 4 because they want to be funny or they're trying to break the program, you actually don't use the word case for a 4th one because, by the way, if I do case 4, that means the user actually types the number 4, and that's not what I want. Okay, what I want is a default case. The default case basically is like your else statement in an if-else statement. It basically says if 1 doesn't happen, if 2 doesn't happen, if 3 doesn't happen, then in all other cases do this. And if the user doesn't type 1, 2, or 3, what I'd really like to do is yell at them or tell them something or that they've made a mistake. Error. You did not choose options 1 through 3. Okay. And if you want to add in there, learn how to read numbers or something like that, you could do that. Now, so what I really have set up here, and oh, by the way, if case 1 doesn't run, case 2 doesn't run, case 3 doesn't run, then the default is to print an error, and the switch is done anyways. It's not a loop, so I don't really need a break here. Everything is finished because the default occurred. And so I'm going to run this code, and that switch statement now is pretty much all set up to operate for me. There's the options, there's my menu, 1, 2, 3. Enter the number you would like, and I'm going to run this 3 times just to test each one. And notice how my option 1 showed up below. And that's a pet peeve of mine. It really bothers me, even though it really shouldn't. I'd like for it to be up here so that it's telling me what line of code. And the reason that that is showing up is I put an LN on this statement right here. I told it that once it printed this to go to the next line, and that's not really what I want. I actually want it to sit here on this line. And so I take that LN off and I'll run this. And now when it says enter the number you would like, let me get this switch up here. Enter the number that you'd like. When I click here and I put the number 1 in, it will stay there. And there it is. It printed hello. And now I'll run this again. This time I'll enter 2 to show that it's going to say goodbye. And I'll run that one more time. And this time I'll enter 3 to show that you win $1. Okay. And so really what a switch statement is like I've mentioned before, just a menu where you're testing whatever this is here. You're testing this variable, and you're testing to see which case it is. Is it a 1? Is it a 2? Is it a 3? If it's not those, then go default. So you could give the user a menu of 10 items, but you'd have a case 1 through 10, and then a default for anything else that they might enter. So there's your introduction to a switch statement, how to use it.